They prepared entire armies for the conflict. Earth sent just one human. The war drums of the Krail Dominion shook an entire moon. Legions stood in perfect formation beneath a blood-red sky, armor polished, banners snapping in the charged wind. War beasts roared inside containment fields. Artillery platforms hummed with planet-cracking power. Above them, invasion fleets filled orbit. They had prepared for total war. They had prepared for humanity. And then Earth sent one ship. It emerged from faster-than-light travel without escort, without formation, without fear. A single angular vessel drifting calmly toward the Krail mustering world. No fleet behind it. No reinforcements. Just one. Supreme Warlord Thaxor stared at the tactical display, mandibles tightening. "This is a scout?" he demanded. Krail intelligence officers rechecked their readings. No additional signatures, Warlord. One human life sign aboard. The Warlord's laughter echoed across the command chamber. "They insult us." On the surface below, millions of Krail soldiers watched the sky. They had trained for decades for this confrontation. Humanity's expansion had threatened Dominion borders. Their adaptability had alarmed Krail strategists. So they had decided to crush Earth decisively. Total mobilization, overwhelming force, and Earth responded with one human. The lone ship descended through the atmosphere, engines glowing white against the crimson clouds. It landed at the center of the warplane, precisely between assembled armies. Dust rolled outward in a perfect circle. The hatch opened. A single figure stepped down the ramp. No heavy armor, no towering mech. Just a human in a dark combat suit, helmet sealed, posture relaxed. Commander Ilya Vorn. She looked at the endless ranks of Krail soldiers and waved. Outrage rippled through the Dominion command. "Advance!" Thaxor roared. "Crush her!" Thousands of Krail warriors surged forward, their armored feet shaking the ground. Plasma lances charged. War beasts were unleashed. The human did not retreat. She tapped a control on her wrist. Orbit responded. High above, the lone human ship shifted position. Not to attack, to observe. On the battlefield, the first Krail warriors reached her. They expected panic. They expected surrender. They expected prey. They met something else. Ilya moved, not recklessly, not desperately. Precisely. The first warrior swung a plasma blade. She stepped inside the arc. A single motion. A strike to a joint. Armor cracked. The warrior fell. Another lunged. She redirected the momentum, sending him crashing into his own ranks. She flowed through them like water through stone. Efficient. Economical. Unstoppable. The Krail war beasts charged next. Massive creatures bred for annihilation. Ilya stood still. Waited. At the last second, she triggered her suit. Localized gravity distortion rippled outward. The beasts stumbled mid-charge, their immense mass betraying them. Ilya used their confusion, striking precise nerve clusters. One by one, they collapsed. On the command deck, Thaxor's laughter faded. "Deploy heavy units," he snarled. Armored exo-titans advanced, towering constructs bristling with weapons. They opened fire. The plane erupted in explosions. When the smoke cleared, the human still stood. Her shield flickered but held. She raised her arm. The lone ship in orbit responded, not with bombardment, with precision strikes. Microkinetic rods fell like rain, impacting only heavy weapon emplacements. Artillery platforms detonated in controlled bursts. Command relays went dark, never touching civilian zones, never striking randomly. Surgical. The Krail army faltered. They had prepared for invasion, for fleets, for armies. They had not prepared for this. For one opponent who moved faster than doctrine, who adapted faster than strategy, who fought as if the entire weight of her species stood behind her, because it did. In orbit, the human ship broadcast a single message across all Krail channels. "Stand down," Thaxor hissed in fury. "She is one being," his tactical officer answered quietly. "She is winning." On the battlefield, Ilya advanced toward the central command tower. Entire battalions tried to block her. She dismantled them, not through brute force alone, through understanding. Human warfare had been forged on a death world, where gravity was heavy, where predators were relentless, where survival demanded creativity. Krail soldiers fought in rigid formations. Ilya exploited gaps. They relied on overwhelming power. She targeted vulnerabilities. They expected fear. She gave them certainty. She reached the base of the command tower, looked up at the towering structure, opened a direct channel. "Warlord Thaxor," she said calmly, her voice echoing across the entire battlefield, "this demonstration is complete." "Demonstration?" he spat. "Yes." Above, more human signals flickered at the edge of Krail sensors. Not arriving. Waiting. Thaxor felt it then, the truth settling like ice in his blood. This had never been an assault. It had been proof. Proof that if one human could dismantle an army, what would a billion do? Ilya placed her hand against the tower's outer wall. Her suit interfaced instantly, disabling its weapon grid without firing a shot. The tower went dark. Across the warplane, Krail weapons powered down one by one. Silence spread. Supreme Warlord Thaxor stared at the lone human standing in the center of his defeated army. "You sent one," he whispered. Ilya removed her helmet. Her eyes were steady. "Yes." "Why?" She looked across the battlefield, at the fallen machines and stunned soldiers. Because one was enough. High above, the human ship turned slowly in orbit. Ready, prepared, unneeded. The Krail Dominion had prepared entire armies for the conflict. Earth had sent one human, and the galaxy would remember what happened when they did.